while at the same time we're seeing huge increases in the federal debt. Anything wrong with this picture? Is he on the right path? I'm assuming perhaps not. If not, what's your idea of the path we should be pursuing in this, on these issues?
Do I have 90 seconds for this? Is that right? Or a minute? Okay. All right. So huge increases in the debt. And interestingly, every Republican president in modern history has blown the debt through the roof. Okay. So there's two very specific things we have to do to get control of the debt. One is we have to start scoring federal budgets on 2-year cycles. The One Big Beautiful Bill does a 10-year score cycle that is absolutely meaningless. It's fantasy. It's economic fantasy. Under a 2-year cycle, like we do in Montana, because we can't print our own money, we have to have a balanced budget. You know exactly how much money's coming in relatively and how much is going out. So that's number one. The second thing that we have to do, and this is based on the latest economic research from a man named Ray Dalio, who is a hedge fund billionaire. He just wrote a book on this called How Countries Go Broke. I recommend that every American who cares about their country read that book. And he makes the argument that we cannot allow annual deficit spending to exceed 3%. That needs to be a red line starting in the next budget. The last budget, the One Big Beautiful Bill, had annual deficit spending of 6.5%. And I'm sure if Trump has his way, he wants to now increase the federal military budget to $1.5 trillion so he can go fight whatever next war he wants to distract from the Epstein, whatever else is in the Epstein files, right? We can't let that happen. We need to reverse that trend. So those are specific action items that we must do immediately. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Mr. Lux, your response.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree. We do need to be able to get this under control. We need to be able to take a very serious look at, the current government. They sit there and they talk all the time about waste, fraud, and abuse. Well, what do I see as waste, fraud, and abuse? I see increasing our military spending to $1.5 trillion as waste, fraud, and abuse. I see the egregious amount of money that has been spent to terrorize American citizens with putting ICE onto our streets as waste, fraud, and abuse. And I see the efforts that are being made to roll back things like Medicare as waste, fraud, and abuse. Because although, yes, that is something that we spend, in my opinion, keeping the American people healthy, keeping the American people sound, that is how we produce a better, more functional society, and not one that is so reliant on all of these welfare systems that they seem to want to destroy so badly. I also agree with Mr. Miller's point that we do need to significantly reduce the deficit spending. We need to be able to bring it under that 3% if we have any hope of reversing this trend of out of control deficit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lux. Mr. Windy Boy, your response.
Thank you very much. And 1.5 trillion for spending on the military is also another ludicrous statement. And I think that, as I said before, that the priorities need to be reprioritized by the Congress. Because when you take a look at the DEI issue, diversity, equity, and inclusion, USDA had pulled back funds from Indian country. There were 50 grants that were given. 49 have been repealed. Why? Because it fit under the DEI racial issue. You got to remember that tribal governments are political entities. They're not a racial entity. And so there's a difference about the reprioritizing of a lot of these issues. And also too, when you talk about a lot of these things about Medicaid, I sat on a conference call or town hall with our Congress, and he said that he supported the Medicaid approach that is now in place because he has facts that there were Medicaid fraud. I told him, show me the proof, show me the data. And to this day, he hasn't shown me nothing.
Thank you.